Good afternoon, YouTube. Today is July 28, 2015. This is your backyard gardener coming to you with a garden update. As you can see here, the straight A cucumbers are gone. The leaves started getting real wilted and drying out. I've harvested a lot of cucumbers from my bush and my straight A. Those are some that came from my straight A. These are some that came from my straight A. So this is the last harvest. I did a couple of harvests off of them before. This is my muskmelon plant that caught that the mildew was all over the bushes. I did a lot of pruning. It's trying to hang in there with the leaves. I was going to really kind of quit it, but I think I'm going to keep with this and see where it goes. The beans are doing really well. They're constantly coming in. I'm going to be harvesting these sometime this week, and I'm going to get it on video when I do harvest them. Crimson Sweet, remember this is my experimental pot, because I don't know where this is going to go, because this is a pretty big watermelon that Michigan don't really have that much of a summer to be able to grow those, but I'm going to see just how far we can go with them. Over here in my watermelon patch, everything is still growing, which is a good thing. Got to do some watering in, because I could tell when my plants want water, they start to look real shriveled up like so. So we're watering those in as we speak. I'm looking over here at my cantaloupe. That seems like it's starting to rotten out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start harvesting some of these cantaloupes. And they're small, they're mini, but I watched the channel of the Urban Organics Best Backyard, the Urban Gardener, and he was starting to harvest a lot of his, well, he did one, and it was pretty sweet. So I think I'm going to go on and harvest the cantaloupe, see how they turn out, because I really don't think they're going to get much bigger than what they are. So that's going to be harvest. Watermelons are doing well. This one is going to be harvest. That tentacle I was telling you about, it's starting to dry out, so this one is almost ready. I just looked back here and I noticed another watermelon. I don't know if that is a sugar baby or crimson sweet. I'm not sure, but we're going to mix. We're going to mix. We're going to find out if that's going to reach maturity, because this is a mixed pot, and I have a couple of watermelons mixed. So those who are expecting to or planning to do a garden next year, container garden, one of the things that I've learned is size does matter as far as your pots go. If you overcrowd them, you know, like for example, I did 4 straight 8. I think this was this is a 55-gallon half of a drum. I think it did pretty good, but next year I'm going to break it down to 3 straight 8 plants in here, because as much as the pot is big, the nutrients is coming out of the soil. So in that one it was fine, because that's pretty deep. But going over here to a 10-gallon, it sucks so much nutrients out of the soil, because I had 4 bush crop plants in here, and it sucked a lot of nutrients out of the soil. So, you know, when you're thinking about container gardening, also think about, you know, if I got a 5-gallon bucket and I'm trying to grow a tomato plant like a Sweet 100, that's definitely not going to work, because it's not enough soil for you to keep replenishing the nutrients back in it. With that wine barrel, and this is only one plant, it was more than enough, you know, to keep my Sweet 100s coming, and every week I can come out of here and I can fertilize them. But if you're talking about a 5-gallon Home Depot bucket, that's not going to work. So you got to put a little thought into your planning. If you're going to do it with containers, make sure you have a big enough container to be able to do it in. The pepper plants, the reason why I used that 5-gallon, because last year it worked really well for me. So it's working well for me now. Why does it work well? I guess because with the bell pepper plant, it doesn't draw as many nutrients out of the soil as a cucumber plant, as a tomato plant, as a bean plant. So these are some things that you have to take into consideration if you do plan to do container gardening. The size of your container does matter. Going over here to my bean plant, a lot of the leaves are starting to die off. I'm keeping it fertilized and water, but I think today will be my last harvest of bean plants, because this is my second harvest, and this is about 6 or 7 plants. And these strike bush beans, really good plants. I'm really satisfied with them. Also with the strawberry, this is 2 plants in here, you know, and I just wanted to do a little strawberry for my own personal use. Well, or my little niece that eats them, and I'll pick them, and I have a lot ready. So I'm satisfied with this container. I'm satisfied with the raised beds. But again, I'm going to rethink some things next year when I do go to my garden on what containers that I'm going to use and how many plants I'm going to put in them. So if you are a backyard gardener or a container garden, think about the size of plants, the size of pots that you're going to use, because the smaller the pot, the less the soil, the more nutrients, and faster the nutrients is going to suck out of the soil. So compared to a 5-gallon, to a wine barrel, to a 55-gallon drum, you got to kind of think of it. I've had great success in my garden this year. I am more than pleased. Couldn't been happier. I've had failures in the garden. It didn't come without problems because of all the rain. I got the powdery mildew, but again, that's all a part of growing. It's just like, you know, you can't get too attached to your project, because you're going to have some failures, and you're going to have to accept that there's going to be some failures. So I will take a note off of Organics Best channel and do some extra pots, backup plants, if you will, in case I do begin to have some failures in the middle of the year. I have a backup plant that I can hurry up and put in there and still go through the whole growing process. So again, if you think about container gardening, think about the size of your pot. And also, if you're a person that likes salads and tomatoes, these Sweet 100s right here. Oh my goodness, this is my first year growing them. No end rot, no problems like that. Just straight fertilizing, you know, every now and then. But these things are like candy. You can eat them right off of your plant once they start to bloom and turn. And I figured the 100 is because it's about 100 of them on there. I think more. But these right here, these are the bomb. You got to get those in your garden if you don't have them. So, again, this is your backyard gardener, and I'm going to come back to you, and I'm going to show you my complete harvest.